Hi everyone, I'm Bahar from the Temple of Crystal Races. Today I would love to share about my life on Andromeda because it is very similar to my life here on Earth, at least to this point. The most important thing I learned during my lifetimes on Andromeda was to embrace my individuality, to look at my uniqueness and differences as an asset rather than a burden or disadvantage. I made some notes so I would not miss anything I would love to share. So let me tell you about the first time I connected to the vibration of Andromeda and Andromedans during this lifetime. So we were living in India at that time. Dee had a DJ set which was followed by a cacao ceremony. Before the ceremony started, I performed a pre-ceremony invocation where I invoked the spirits of love like angels, archangels, nature spirits, dragons, like sun dragons. So after the ceremony was over, a guy showed up and told me that in fact he's a dark blue dragon in the spirit realm, like the color of thunder, and he gave me this dragon stone. And he told me that I can keep this stone for a couple of days so I can meditate and maybe I can tell him that where is the star of his origin. So I accepted the stone and I was very surprised. It was very unexpected for me at that time that suddenly I met someone like him that he talked about like Galactic Federation, star seeds, dragons. At that time I was feeling pretty lonely in India. I didn't have anyone besides Dee that I could really resonate with and have some deep conversations. And I was not posting on social media either. So it was a great surprise. So when I went back home, I meditated with the stone. As I was meditating, a loving vibration was unfolding in my body, heart, and energy field. And I intuitively felt it was the vibration of my Andromedan star family. I felt a lot of love from them, and I could feel them strongly. In fact, I felt I don't have a body, and I was feeling the vibration of my Andromedan body instead. I continuously meditated with the stone, and I went on a journey of remembrance. Remembrance of a love, my dragon lover. Connecting to the spirit of the dragon brought me some deep past life memories of my dear one, who I had once loved dearly and I lost. It awakened the love between us again. Also, I remembered a time on Earth when I had a dragon, and I was remembering the relationship we had with each other, like the deep love, the loyalty, the deep connection and understanding. So I went through a deep grief and mourning for the love I lost. However, I continued to stay in the deep love frequency that was awakened within me a couple of weeks. Later I found that it was like a Kundalini rising experience, so my higher heart opened up and I was in a higher frequency of love for 2 or 3 weeks. It was not the first time I was experiencing this, but this time was quite different. I was tripping without taking any psychedelics. So most of the time, I was not even able to walk or do my everyday work. I was lying down with eyes closed, and these vibrations were working through me. It was like a circulation of vibration through my spine, and I was feeling a lot of love in my heart. So I was in a different world. I was in the vibration of love that I could feel everyone as love, truly as love. When I was outside the house meeting people, even the one I don't usually resonate with, I could see their energy were changing around me. So it's like my heart energy hitting their heart was changing their energy field, and suddenly their heart was soft and kind because of the amount of love I had. So I felt my heart is the guardian of the stone. The stone also didn't want to leave me. I really felt that the stone is a part of my soul, like it's my dragon soulmate, my half. So I went through a lot of healing, inner child healing from the loss of a loved one. I even wrote some poetry about my dragon lover. Yeah, but I also felt confused. I thought maybe he is that soulmate that I lost someday. I didn't want to give the stone back because I felt that this stone is a part of my soul, so I cannot give it back unless he can guard it. It was so precious to me. After a few weeks, I decided to return it. And Dee suggested that maybe I can invite him to our place to have a crystal channeling together, and I did. So I invited him and he accepted the invitation. So I prepared the whole ritual settings with all my crystals. I was so excited that we are going to do the crystal channeling and find out about all these crystals energy. But guess what? He didn't show up. So Dia and I, actually we really thought maybe he could be, a member of our soul tribe, or even worse, he could be that actual soulmate that I lost someday. But he didn't show up. And obviously I got pretty sad at that moment, because even 15 minutes before the time that he was supposed to come, he told me that he's on his way, and later, I found out that he was fine and nothing happened to him, no accident, nothing, right? But now, when I look at that event, I'm very happy that he didn't show up. At the same time, I'm grateful for what happened, because that event put an end to the projection of love outside of me. One of the biggest lessons I could internalize and embrace in this lifetime so far, not to project the deep love I feel and experience onto others. What I felt was me. It was my gift to connect to the vibration of crystals, to feel energy, to be a clairsentient. It was nothing to do with him, even though at the soul level he had a role of activating those memories and those gifts. So I give him the credit of that. But after that experience, I changed and I stopped looking for love outside of me. So I understood everything that I felt deeply in my heart. This higher love, these memories are all me, even though everything is connected. It's my experience. I started to feel and understand that all the beautiful light beings, deities, all these ethereal, loving energies that I feel are my soulmates. They are aspects of my own consciousness. They are me. And by reuniting with them in the frequency of love, my consciousness is expanding to be a full bloom lotus with thousands petals. I call this process embodying our avatar bodies. Now I connect to all these beautiful energies as my soulmates. I feel divine joy and love and expansion. I also started to translate these vibrations into art. All my paintings are a reflection of my heart's frequency of alchemical merge with higher aspects of my own consciousness. So after this experience, I also started to embrace my gift of connecting to the energy of crystals and bringing this energy into my art. I also matched the vibration of these light beings with certain crystals. I realized I am the one who can feel these energies and interpret them into creative forms. And again, nothing to do with the outside world. So anyway, that was the first time I felt an Andromeda vibration in my body and what it felt like. I got very curious about Andromeda and my star of origin after that experience. So I really wanted to know about my galactic history. So that is when I found Debbie Solaris and I booked a reading with her. She does readings on galactic Akashic records. But something about Akashic records is that we get information based on what we need at that time and how much we are supposed to know at that time. You know, there are so many different aspects to one story. So whatever would be helpful at the time would be revealed to us. And it depends on that how much we can, internalize and grasp. So there are so many different aspects to one story. So what she sees doesn't mean it is the full story, but it really resonated with me. Since it's very similar to my life on Earth now, so that story was supposed to help me in this lifetime at this time. So let's see what she told me. So she told me that I am an Andromedan humanoid who originated from Vega. So my lineage is from Vega. Me and my current partner D, we used to be a couple in Vega. So Vega was mostly Mother Goddess consciousness. At that time, I was appointed to be an emissary to represent Vega at the big inner planetary council meetings on the Lyra system. And sometimes I had to travel and be apart from my beautiful partner. Even though I did not really like to be apart from him, but because it was for the greater good of Lyra constellation, I was willing to do that. And everything was great till Draconians attacked Lyra and Vega. At that time, I was attending one of the inner galactic council meetings. I was on planet Avians. I was on one of my trips. So I had no way to go back to Vega. So I was stuck on Avian, and Avian was heavily attacked. So I was trying to telepathically communicate with my partner, but I couldn't because there was so much interference because of the war, so I could not reach him at all. So there were several Lyrans, people from Lyra, that asked me if I wanted to evacuate with them. So I saw the common sense in their offer, so I was evacuated to Andromeda. It took me the Lyran ship a lot of years to get to Andromeda, and I was really missing my partner during those years. I didn't feel that the Lyran people, they are a part of my tribe or my culture. I was feeling more connected to Vega, Sirius, Orion people. This is a feeling that I experience quite a bit here on Earth as well, that I feel that I have not yet found my original soul tribe. So Andromeda is more of the father god consciousness, more of a masculine energy. So, sorry. So I always had darker eyes and hair and more Vega features. Even though I already had blue skin, I still stood up. So I was very different. But eventually I got tired of feeling bad about my differences or about being different. So I decided to embrace my differences and go on my own path, my own way. So I worked it to my advantage, used it as an asset rather than a burden. I went through various evolutions on Andromeda, learning frequencies and certain star codes. I was able to interpret them in a creative sense. So I was one of a few artists that I had a more feminine, divine feminine style to my art. So I was not doing the typical Andromedan thing, like for example to be a part of a Galactic Federation or to be a part of Andromeda Council or working on technology or being a part of a massive healing movement. I was doing my own thing. I was following my own path. So in the meantime, I was sending messages to the universe that I wanted to know what happened to my original partner, since I didn't even know if he was alive. So this is a part of my story on Andromeda that I liked to share with you. The rest of my story and what happened to my partner, or did I ever meet him again, I will share in a different video. So when I tune myself into my Andromedan aura, which is a dark indigo blue, I feel the energy of independence, a strong individuality, being strong and not following the grains, or being strong to go against the grains. I also feel some lonely energy and very tough life experiences that were a part of the journey. So and they made me stronger. So I feel the energy of not being chained or being controlled by others, especially by patriarchal society rules and restrictions. To be different and embrace my difference and uniqueness and follow my own path. I also learned about frequency, to connect to frequency and vibration of different beings, animals, and cosmos, and how to communicate with them by attuning myself to those frequencies. My rebel side, being bold, is influenced by my Andromedan evolutions. And the funny thing is that in this life I was born in a very patriarchal society of Iran, a place where the government, and as a result the people and the culture, they tend to control you, specifically if you are a woman. So I think I read this on Debbie Solari's website, that Andromedan women will never compromise their free will and freedom to the point where they would rather die than be subjugated to the restrictions and control of a patriarchal society. So when I was painting this Andromedan artist, I felt the ethereal, spiritual energy of water in my painting. What I mean that I really felt that I want to bring this spiritual aspect of water into my painting, because I was really feeling that my soul is very connected to the water energy, because water connects me to my feminine side and my home planet Vega. Since when I was on Andromeda, I was creating art with my feminine energy, and for the same reason, because I really wanted to connect to my roots. So this painting is actually me when I was on Andromeda, so it carries both energies of Vega and Andromeda. Both Andromeda and Vega have blue skin and auric color. So Andromeda is more indigo and Vega is more light blue. And as you see, I'm wearing my unique Andromedan style clothing. So that was my story on Andromeda. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you everyone for listening. Sending you lots of love. Have a great day. Bye.